Hi, this is Charles with Primary Residential Mortgage. I wanted to make this quick video for you to basically show you what the FHA Streamline Refinance is all about. If you're watching this video, we've probably just talked about your opportunity to refinance, lower your rate, and just want to kind of walk through what the program is, how it works, what you should expect, and maybe dispel a couple of rumors along the way. So I'm going to start by sharing my screen really quick. I just want to walk you through a quick example to give you an idea of what's really possible with this type of loan program. So right now, down to brass tacks, the FHA Streamline Refinance is simply a refinance program for current FHA borrowers, which allows you to lower your interest rate down to the current market rates, which, by the way, are significantly lower than they were 6 to 12 months ago, without having to requalify and without having to order an appraisal. So very quick, very easy, probably the simplest loan you'll ever get in your life for a mortgage anyway. But just directing you to the screen here, I just selected a $250,000 loan amount. It's about average for the country. Depending on your area, that might seem really high or really low. But on a $250,000 loan, an average rate 8, 12 months ago was around 5.25. Some are a little lower than that, but in general, most people are hovering around that 5 or 5.25 rate. So if we compare that to what an average rate today for an FHA Streamline would be, the loan amount's going to be a little bit lower because you've paid down some principal balance. We're seeing most people with halfway decent credit right around 3.75. If we scroll down here just to the monthly payment difference, by lowering your interest rate about 1.5%, you're dropping from a principal and interest payment of $1,380 down to a principal and interest payment of $1,148. So that represents a $232 a month savings of pure interest. That's not smoke and mirrors. That is just you drop your rate, you lower your interest rate significantly. Over the course of the loan, most people stay in their homes 5, 10 years these days, maybe a little bit longer. If you did happen to stay in this loan, stay in this home for 30 years, that represents total interest paid over 30 years with the first loan of $247,000. By lowering the rate, drops it to $165,000. So you're saving $80,000 of interest over the life of the loan. So obviously, pretty significant savings over that time. So what we do is basically we take your existing FHA loan, we pay that loan off, so we pay off your existing mortgage company. We transfer your escrow account, so we move your property taxes and your homeowner's insurance that you have in an account that you make payable every month, and we start over a new mortgage at our company with the lower rate. So by doing that, let's just assume, so right now it's July 26th. Let's just say we close your loan in August. You actually would skip your September 1st payment. There's a partial interest payment you make when you close your loan, but basically you skip your September payment. And then your first payment at the lower interest rate is due October 1st. We pay all of your closing costs. We pay your title fees, your lender fees, all those little annoying fees, the credit report fees, all that. We cover all those fees. We truly pay for them. We don't just wrap them in the loan. And then you have a new loan with us. So I want to show you two quick things. One, just a little bit about interest rates and how we pay those fees, because a lot of people ask, well, how do you pay these fees? How do you make money? And then another question people ask is like, okay, I hear this is like a free loan. It's not free. It's not expensive. It's actually incredibly cheap, but there is one charge, and I just want to show you what that is, so we're 100% clear. So let's hop over here. So when we close a loan, basically, people think there's just like one rate. And there are a ton of rates. You can see I've got rates ranging here from 3.25 all the way up into the 5s. What we look for when we're quoting you a rate is what's the lowest interest rate we can get you that also allows us to pay your fees. So it costs us, on an average loan, your closing costs cost us about 1%. right? Because we are able to roll your taxes and insurance over, we don't have to bother with that. Everything else is just kind of, it just doesn't apply. We don't even charge underwriting and processing fees on these loans like most lenders do. But it costs us about 1% of your loan amount to pay your closing costs. So what we do, if you go over here to the different interest rates, right now rates, like I said, most people are selecting interest rates somewhere in the high threes, maybe into the low fours. 100, when you look at this price column, 100.0 equals par. Par means you don't pay me anything, like you don't pay points, and I don't pay you anything. I don't give you a lender credit, right? Just even Steven. 101 means I have 1% of your loan amount to pay for closing costs. You don't pay me that, the bond market pays me that. You just have an interest rate that's reflective of that, right? So in this example, 3.75% gives me 1% to put towards closing costs. If you go over here to this column, you'll see 1% or it's a little over 1%. It's $2,556. So what we would do is, let's just say your closing costs were $2,500. You would see a charge for $2,500 on your loan estimate, and then you'd see a lender credit from us for $2,500 covering it, and you would pay zero. And that's how that works. So when we talk about what rate you get or what rate you want, really, if you want to pay some of your closing costs, you can, and you can go down to a lower rate. You can bring up to an entire payment to closing to cover that without even having to verify the assets. So, the lowest rate I've really seen anyone do around now is 3.5%. It's possible to get even down to 3 3/8 right now, which is just incredibly low if you follow interest rates at all. But to drop from somewhere in the fives up here on the top of the page all the way down here to the bottom, again, represents an incredible opportunity, and especially given that there's premium pricing available for us to pay these costs for you. Again, it's just a really unique time in the mortgage world right now. So I want to talk about the one cost that there is, and it's just something that I don't want to gloss over. I don't want to get too deep, but I just want to just touch on it. When you close an FHA loan, like when you bought your house using an FHA loan, you paid, and you may not even realize this because your loan officer might not have explained this to you. You pay an upfront mortgage insurance premium, and that's just financed into your loan. It's not something that you really even notice necessarily, but you do pay it. It degrades over time or depreciates, just like a new car. You drive a car off the lot, it's already lost 20% of the value, right? If you look at this refund chart, it's months after closing. So this is how many months it's been since you closed your loan, and then what percent of that premium you get refunded. 1 month after you close your loan, you've already lost 20%. So you're only going to get 80% refunded back to you, which is a lot, but you have pretty severe depreciation right off the bat. But then if you look at these numbers, month 2, month 3, month 4 goes from 80 to 78 to 76 to 74. You drop 2% every month after you have your loan. We try to find people who are really in a great spot to refinance right after you've made that 6th payment, because you do have to make 6 payments on your original loan to be eligible for this program. So let's just say you're month 7, you get 68% of your original refund back. We take your existing loan balance, we take the payoff from your current lender, we apply the refund to that to drop the amount down, and then we apply a new mortgage insurance premium on top of that. Usually, for a loan of this size, it's probably going to cost somewhere between $500 and $1,000 that's financing your loan. If your loan's a little smaller, it would be less. If your loan's bigger, it would be more. So when we're talking about the monthly savings in this example, it was $232. Let's just pretend this costs $2,300, right? So $230 a month times 10 months is $2,300. As long as you're going to be in that house for 10 months or more, it probably makes sense for you to refinance. What we're finding is that most people are able to recoup that mortgage insurance premium in about 6 months, which we're usually looking for a 2 to 3 year recoup on these kind of refinances. Again, very unique time in the world where we're able to get these to provide you what we call a net tangible benefit in about 6 months, and it usually makes it kind of a no-brainer, right? So wanted to go through that, but In general, takes about 2 to 3 weeks to close these. We need a short form application, don't need a full application, don't need income documents. We typically just need a driver's license and a utility bill from you to prove that you are who you say you are and that you live in the house. If we can do those things, if your credit's in halfway decent shape still, if you've made your mortgage payments on time, right now we're in general lowering most people's interest rates somewhere between 1 and 1.5%. Which is a huge savings. So reach out to me, ask me whatever questions you have. We can talk more in detail about your particular loan scenario. You can call me at 541-904-0575. But I look forward to helping you do this and saving you some money.